Good morning, everybody. It's now 6:15 a.m.
It's 6:15 a.m.
Be quiet, Brenda. Sorry, that's what Scott names my alarm, Brenda. So I'm going to add the wowing, the frosting, the doodles, the things that finish up a mandala. I've got a glaze pen, Glaze, glaze. That will be used last. And then I have a couple gold pens. And the reason I have a couple is one's almost empty. And then I have a white Uniball Signo. And so my frosting I'm going to do in the gold and white. And I've got to prop the door because cats, And Howard won't go out unless I prop the door. I know. You're going to run away. Luckily, it's warm enough this morning that we can do that, and then I won't have to get up again. I should have just done it before. Good morning, Linda. So I'm going to use some gold first and start in the middle and work my way out. I have my drop paper here, but it's good to have a little piece of paper with these glaze pens because they're like big pens sometimes, and they'll get like boogers on the end. That's the only way I can think to call it. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a gold dot right in the middle of these things and fill it in. And remember, with the gel pens or the glaze pens, any of the pens that are that type, hi Lala, you don't press down harder to get it to flow. You back off and let the ink flow. Okay, as soon as you start pressing down, it's not going to work for you. So you got to remember, with these type of pens, it's the light touch. And I was sitting here looking earlier, and I think I want to do this like it's a ray out. And like with anything on mandalas, you start and you do one thing all the way around. And you can't really even see it. I feel like I'm in the dark over here. I don't know if that helps or makes it worse. But whatever you pick, do it all the way around. And, if it turns out to be something you don't really care for, you can put something on top of it. I think I'm trying to put too many. I think just a few is better. But because I started with putting many, it really needs to have the same amount all the way around. All right. I think here I'm just going to put a gold dot in the middle. And you don't want to, brush against anything you just put down because gel pens take longer to dry and set up. You were just gifted gelatos. How do you use those? Oh, well, I have a few. They blend well with your fingertip. I haven't used them in a while. You can just make marks with them as an addition to like a background. They are kind of waxy or greasy. So wherever you use them, you're probably not going to be able to put anything over them. So they kind of need to be used like as something to bring some color addition to something with no expectation of being able to go over them with much of anything. That's been my experience, because they do move around with any kind of moisture or any of that too. I'm going to put a little dot on either side of this because I want to make some smaller dots. I would suggest just playing. I was watching a short this morning that said it's important to just play. And I know John Cleese has a whole speech out there about don't be afraid to create. All you got to do is play. And he's right. Any art is about getting over your fears, like performing. You got to get over the fear of speaking in front of people, which I'm still mortified to do, but I've done it when I was a manager. You stand up in front of all the employees and you have to talk. That was way out of my comfort zone, but I did it because it was part of the job. Morning, Safia. And let's see. I think just going to do like flower stem with a couple leaves off the side. That's what I think when I make that mark. It's a flower stem and then leaves come off from it. And I'm just laying in some gold bits for right now. And then I'm going to lay in some white. And then I'll use the black as my last time around to make my original lines pop, because with the glaze pens, you really need to be able to just walk away when you're done with those, because they will smear if you rub into them. So you start in the center and work your way out with those, and then you set it aside to let it dry, and then we can cut it out and stick it in our little journal. So that's what I figured I'd come on and do today. I'm going to if it gets to where it's skipping, come clean the end off over on your scrap paper. So if you've got a new product, just get some paper out and start playing. That's what Safia does. But Safia is fond of doing it on really big sheets of paper. Safia, Lala just got some, now I forgot. I'll have to look. Gelatos, and she was asking how to use them. You can probably also go to the website for that particular product, and I can almost guarantee they have videos on how to use them. We ought to do that sometime. Just pick a product and go see the original uses of them. Like I have some silks, they came in a little tiny tub about that big around. And I bought them when the stamping store was still open. That's how old those are. And they've been gone a long time. Now it's got a nursing care facility in it where you can hire a nurse to come and help with your family member. All right, so I'm going to set the gold aside, and we're going to just do some of this white if I can get this thing to do. Yep, there's lots of videos on gelatos, Sophia's saying. So I'm going to put a white dot at the end of each of these little marks. Remember, pick one thing and complete it all the way around before you start thinking about the next thing. And this is why Barb Owen and I call this frosting, because it's like you're adding the decorations on top of the work you did before. You're bringing it to its final spot. All right, I'm all the way around. So I'm going to put a dot in the middle of the gold ring on these. I keep catching a whiff of chili powder. I don't know if Greg spilled some up in the cabinet or what, but I just keep sniffing and smelling that chili powder. I'm going to put a little white dot in the center of the larger gold dot in the middle here. The white is not liking the gold, though. It's absorbing it. That's the bad thing about these type of pens. Any white seems to pick up the color below it. But I'm going to keep trying here. And when I went out earlier, it sounded like a semi-truck idling somewhere close. It was weird, because this is a neighborhood. It'd be odd to see a semi-truck in here. But who knows? All right. Oh, come on. I'm just trying to go on the edge of where I added the pencil last night with this white, and the colored pencil's a little waxy, so you'll have to clean your tip of your pen off a little bit more often. And if you go over your black lines, remember it doesn't matter, because we're going to bring them to the front as the very last thing we do. It really doesn't like that colored pencil. All right, let's do something in here. I'm going to do a flower stem. It's really not liking. Maybe it's the watercolor papers giving me a hard time. That could be it too. Pick a mark and do it all the way around. I saw Barbara was looking for Ann yesterday, and Ann was not on because she had lots of workmen. She said that the day before that she was supposed to have, let's see, the flooring guy, the AC guy. So hopefully they're going to get her done. I'm going to switch back to gold for a little bit. Yeah, it's fun when the kids get old enough to do that kind of stuff. What was I watching? It was a reel, and they were turning pastels into paint by using something on them. But my brain said, I'm going to remember that. And then this morning, my brain said, no, you're not. So I'm going to have to see if I can find it again. It was very interesting. Very interesting. Just doing kind of a little archy shape up to the top of the Scott works with a man that is really kind to him. And yesterday he took one of my brownies in, my perfect brownies. He took that in, and Jim said, tell your wife you can make those anytime and send them in. She can make them anytime she wants, and you can bring them in. He really enjoyed those. And he drives from Sumter to work. And it probably takes him about an hour, hour and a half to get to work and home again every day. So he spends like 3 hours a day just driving. That's crazy. All right, let's use some gold out here. Okay, we'll put a little triangle in here. Choose something and do it all the way around. Oh. Might be time to squiggle on the piece of paper a little bit just to remove any waxing from the colored pencil. The birds are saying, good morning. I can hear them outside. When I open the door to go out to feed the outside cats that come, the neighbor's rooster that we're not supposed to have in the city, he was crowing his head off. The sun hadn't even started to come up, and he was already at it. And then I heard their ducks, quack, 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 quack. I'm surprised some nosy butt hasn't turned them in for having the ducks and the rooster. You can have chickens. You're supposed to only have like 3 or 4 chickens, but yeah. Let's see. What do we want to do? I don't know. Pick something. I feel like I need to put some white. Just kind of pull everything together. When in doubt, dot. And I was going to use just the white and the gold, but you can use your colored gel pens for your doodling as well. You guys don't bring lizards in. This pen is having its own set issue. Did you bring a lizard in here? I'm going to close the door. What do you got in the corner? What did you put back there? Hey, let me see. What's back there? Okay. You can play with a little stuffed mouse. Just don't bring lizards in. I don't trust the cats. That sounds awful. I don't trust the cats. Let's put a dot in here. Yeah. When they hit the whole adulting thing, it's like they forget how to play and do art and that kind of stuff, unless that's what they choose to, go into. I just so think those need something else. I just don't know what. So maybe I should leave it alone. I was talking about Jim, and Scott was showing him a better way to get to work that it didn't include so much on the highway time, and it's a slightly shorter route since he has to drive, so far every day. I don't know how he does it. Poor guy also suffers with narcolepsy, which that's kind of scary. I guess he takes medicine to keep him awake. I don't know. I just can't believe he drives just all the way from Sumter every day. It's a long drive for a job. But I guess you do what you got to do, right? That would be like Scott's still working in Greenville and driving from here every day. That'd be crazy. I'm very thankful for the 5 years we were able to stay in my sister-in-law's little cottage. That saved us a lot of money. It was very kind of her to let us stay there. Yep. That's what people always say. Why don't you just get a cat door? And it's like, nope, because the lizards would come in and the palmetto bugs. And yeah, no, thank you. Let's see here. We need to do some more. You can never go too far with frosting on these projects. So let's Howard's pulling all the cat toys out of the basket again. He woke up extreme goofball this morning. He really has. Oh, and that's his sister saying, "You shut the door on me. Stop digging on the seal." Butthead. Dad gets really mad when you tear the window seal up. I mean, the door seal. Yes, we can replace it, but man, he gets mad when you do that. Didn't recognize the sound right away. All right, go get my brain back to what I was doing here. You cats. Mimicking a shape you already have down is a good place to doodle too. I'm going to be in a pickle if this runs out in the middle of this. There we go. We can do the same up here. It's really not liking the colored pencil. Aw. Morning, Deb. Yeah, it's really disliking the colored pencil. This gel pen is just really hating it because I shaded up under here with a colored pencil last night, and the gel pens are just not caring for that. But I love to draw these things and then do the frosting on them. That's something I could put in the advent calendars. I could just draw the mandalas for you and then include them. I don't know if that's something you guys would like. I could draw the basic mandala and then you guys could color it in and add your own frosting. I don't know if that'd be something good to stick in there or not. I would do just where the black lines are, and then you'd have to color it in and frost it up. You're so old, you're helpless now? At 67? Come on now. Let's see here. Let's see if we can put some more gold on here. We'll add it a little like leg to this. So come down and then go up. Come down here, then go up. Got my little scratch paper here to we go, all the way around. I'm trying to get it to be still. The unfortunate part about this is I go quiet when I'm doing the doodling because it's very zen, it's very relaxing, and I forget to talk. And that's really the whole concept of doing these, is to get you to relax, calm down, slow down, let your brain heal from any upset or anger or any of that. It really does help calm the nerves in the brain. And once I get this all done, and I'll put the black back with the glaze pen, I'm going to set it aside to dry until Monday, and then we'll cut it out and we'll put it in our little journal, our little autumn journal that we started last year. I got 2 autumn journals really going right now, the thankfulness one and then the one from last year that I'm just trying to fill up. We're almost full on here as far as the doodling. A white pen was not skipping so much because I'd love for the white lines to be stronger than they are. It's just, I think the tip is messed up on it. See, these I'd like to be whiter, but they're just not going whiter. Even a light touch is not changing it. So I think there's something wrong with that one. So I'm going to stop there on that. But now we're going to go in with the glaze pen and bring everything back up to the top. So I'm going to get it started over here. Oh, come on, don't be dried out. There we go. Remember, light touch with glaze and gel pens. Light touch. All right, so I'm going to go around the gold circle that I added in the middle and work my way out, going over my black lines. And by working from the center out, I should be able to do it without smearing any of these lines, because this type of pen stays wet a long time and it's really easy for you to smear it. Picking up stuff, I got to clean the tip off. I think some of the problem I'm having with the pens is it's on watercolor paper and the nibs of the pens are not liking the texture of that paper. All right, so now we go to the next place I had black lines. We're going to bring those back. Anytime you see a little something floating on there, clean your nib off so that you don't smear your black. And doing this step is what really makes the design pop. You can see how it's kind of coming back to life, where a little of it may have gotten to, buried with the color or the decorations. And I love a glaze pen for this final step. All right, let's do the next bit. a light touch and move slow. You can't write fast with a glaze or gel pen. You have to be more, the word I was going to say is just gone out of my head. Purposeful. You have to let that ink flow because it's a flowing ink. It's not a pressurized. You don't get more for pressing down harder with a gel pen. You have to go slower and let the ink flow out as you're rolling that ball around. So you think about the tip of it going in and collecting new, maybe that's a good way to think about it, that it's collecting new ink to set down. And this line's not very strong because I went too fast. All right, then we'll do the next one, which is these. All right, we'll do our circles. Oh, that one got a little heavy. So we'll just make them all heavy. There we go. All right. I'll check the chat here in just a sec because I'm almost done. I will be late to the craft and chat because I watch Katinka from 10 to 11, so it'll be 11 before I get over there. Oh, bye, Deb. All right, so now I'm going to just do this part and finish it off. And then I'll set it somewhere that the cats can't get on it. And we'll use it again on Monday morning. We'll cut it out and put it in our book and maybe add some more decoration around it onto the black paper. We'll see how it looks when we get it mounted on there. I need to get dressed and go down to the grocery store, but God, I hate going in the store anymore. When I was younger, I loved grocery shopping. It was like my outing. It was great. And now I just don't care if I ever leave the house. And I make Scott chauffeur me around, but I really need to leave the house about once a week anyway to make sure the tires on the truck stay round. All right, so this is where we're going to leave it for today. And I don't know if you can see or not that the glaze pen gives it kind of a raised look to it. Come on, focus, you freak. But anyway, that's what we got there. So, and then once it's good and dry, which is going to take a while, on Monday we will cut it out and we'll apply that to the background. And then we can use our pens and add some things on the outside of it if we want, or we can just mount that on there. But I am going to cut it out and get rid of the white paper. And hey, Janice. And so it'll be mounted straight to it with no white. It'll just be that on the backgrounds, if you can kind of visualize it. I need to lay it somewhere flat so that the glazed gel pen doesn't float away. All right. She's in the UK. She's like 6 hours ahead of me. So we're just starting our day here on the East Coast, and Sophia is about halfway through her day. So, all right. So, boy, that's quite the color change from one page to the next, but we're going to go with it. The page we did yesterday in the autumn journal was a lot of fun. It's all dry. It's right here now. And it's most of the shakers still kind of work in there. And then on this page back here, I've just got the thanks, and I did put I am just an autumn soul waiting through the seasons to get back to where I belong. That's a quote by the Queen of the Pumpkin Patch. So it's by the pumpkins. But I just love that background paper. So anyway, if you're into autumn projects, check my channel because we're working on 2 different little autumn journals, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great day.